Hi, everybody. Radical Gardener, aka Kate Hart. All right. So, I want to talk about the sun cycle, stock markets, Earth activity, and human evolution. So, for those of you who watched the Oppenheimer discussion that I and Diamond had, we were talking a little bit about the solar minimums and that they're um, there's evidence and there have been studies that we actually go through an evolution of sorts as the weather and the sun changes, so do we. I mean, it just makes sense, right? We're all part of the cosmos and everything affects everything. But so let me just get into this. This is written by Elizabeth Peru, and I came across this when I was doing research for the discussion that I wanted to do with Diamond, but I just wasn't. We weren't able to really get to it. I mean, you know how that goes. You get into a discussion and it'll go in a direction that you really hadn't planned for, which is fine. But anyways, let me go ahead and read this to you. It's fairly long. I probably won't read the whole thing, but it's really food for thought. Okay, from time immemorial, in memorial, our ancient ancestors held great reverence and respect for our eternal life giving star, the sun. Boy, isn't that the truth? The sun wakes us each day and tells us when to sleep. The sun warms us and gives us light as much as it energizes and holds us at its cosmic mercy. The sun is larger than a million Earths. Just imagine, it is that huge. Such a cosmic heavyweight pulls the strings in our local solar system. The sun is the ruler and the golden, white, fiery orb that we are locked into, acting as our gigantic cosmic mother slash father energy. Not a moment of each day goes by when we're not reliant upon the sun. Yet, how often do you consider this? Is the sun something that just gives you warmth, or are you prepared to lift the lid on how much of an impact the sun truly has upon your human life, your daily living, earth activity, and the evolution and consciousness of our souls? I've always been really clear the sun is very key in who and what we are. The sun cycle. Every 11 years or so, the sun moves through a cycle of intense activity. These cycles are often referred to as solar minimum and solar maximum. Solar minimum is the cycle of least activity on the sun, and solar maximum is the cycle of most activity. In the lead up to solar maximum, the sun produces masses of sunspots, which unleash huge flares for flares for kilometers out into space. These flares affect Earth's electromagnetic field, causing potential electrical and radio wave disruption and intense aurora activity around our poles. In the lead into and during solar minimum, there are no to very few sunspots produced. With no solar flaring, however, the sun can produce huge rips and tears upon its surface, spewing forth solar wind streams which can be earth directed. There are also portals of energy which directly connect the sun and the earth. These portals have been proven to exist by astrophysicists. These portals of communication pass energy back and forth between the earth and the sun approximately every 8 minutes. I find this fascinating because in my work as a guide, I have noted over the past 20 years that when the sun is moving through a particularly intense cycle of activity, that those people sensitive to energy fluctuations are greatly affected. Actually, my husband's one of those people. He really is. Stock and financial markets. There have been several studies done to show that the stock and financial markets are directly influenced by solar cycles. These studies go right back to the 1800s with tracking of our solar maximum and concurrent stock market crashes, although solar activity itself has been studied since the 1700s. Now, there could be a lot of reasons for that. It could be, an energetic influence, astrological influence, or it could be that, when there's a solar minimum, we have a problem, with food prices and food shortages and, just food availability, and that may really do something really be impactful when we're looking at business and stock markets, right? So yeah. Also, I got to tell you, the mathematician whose formula I used for the harmonics for the music that I composed, um, he also talked about how through how did he do it? You know what? I'm sorry I even mentioned it because I can't complete that thought, but I will go back and look, and I'm going to refer back to him, if not in the next video, in ones coming up, because he also saw a cyclic. Um, Well, he just saw cycles when it came to the finances, and he was able to do that through the math. So, anyways, I'll go and look at that. Sorry I brought it up, but I thought I had a more complete thought on it, but I don't. So, continuing. Cosmic rays. Given that our current solar cycle, 24, is now heading into solar minimum, our next solar cycle, 25, is due to hit maximum in the late 2020s. Does that mean we have a clear run on financial markets until then? Most certainly not. Even during the years of solar minimum, the sun is still active and Earth's field is actually weakened, meaning that more cosmic rays penetrate matter than they do during solar maximum. Just imagine that Earth is not immune to all sorts of galactic radiation infiltrating our electromagnetic field from deep space. There are muons, subatomic particles, which are the debris from exploded stars radiating down upon Earth and passing through all matter. We're literally showered in stardust each day. Love that. Just as financial markets fluctuate with the cycle of the sun, so too does Earth in its seismic activity. Earthquake activity tends to increase and even cluster when there is significant activity upon the sun. This can happen during solar maximum. Think of Japan's tsunami in 2011 when solar maximum 24 was peaking. But it can also happen during the eclipse season when the sun, moon, and earth are in direct alignment. I find that all Earth activity can be traced back to what is happening on a planetary level, as well as how we are affecting the planet with human-based activity. All right, human evolution and consciousness. Most importantly, it's our soul, human life, consciousness, and evolution that directly fluctuates with the solar cycles. We are not immune to cosmic change on Earth. Each one of us is an energy being first and foremost. We are physical beings secondly. The sun's activity is linked into our brainwave and heart state. Makes sense to me. Our blood pressure can rise and fall with solar activity, as can the development of our thymus gland, which leads to pulsing and fluttering in the chest, a sign of spiritual awakening. During periods of heightened solar activity, our sleep patterns can be affected as ideas and creative spirit will flow freely. Boy, if that's not the truth, certainly going on for me. Daily living and thriving. It's so important for our daily living and thriving that we follow the patterns of the sun, planets, stars, and entire cosmos. Well, Rudolf Steiner certainly knew that, didn't he? That we map our movements with those of above. This is why she's been writing the Tip-Off Global Energy Forecast since 2003. So I'm going to leave that link for you below. When we are in tune with the cosmos, we're in the flow and all of life opens up and makes sense. Remember that you're a cosmic citizen first and foremost. Don't you love that, cosmic citizen? Let's honor who we are and our vast opportunity to grow and expand with the assistance of the solar cycles and the universe. Do you feel that life on Earth fluctuates with the cycles of the sun? I love this blog. This is very well written. I just love it. I always had a theory that the Great Pyramid, and you see that head that's sitting on top, of like, it has the paws, right? I always thought that there used to be a lion's head on there, and that it was taken off and it was replaced because that head doesn't go, right? I mean, that head is too small for the rest of that pyramid. But I think that was a lion's head. It's definitely lion's paws. It's a lion's body, and it does face the constellation of Leo. which is, again, that's a sun-ruled constellation, right? So Leo is ruled by the sun. So I always thought that they knew, back then, that was really key for survival. And so I don't know. I'm sure I'm not the only one that's thought of that when they've looked at that pyramid. So, anyways, yeah, I wanted to share that with you. It's just really well written, and I know I have felt a lot of this. I feel like I'm really plugged in. I feel like I'm just in tune. That's why I'm not worried about anything. That's why I feel so joyful these days. And yes, I know there's food shortages. I know people are struggling. I know all of this, and for some reason, I'm feeling so connected and so plugged in. I just can't explain it. I just can't explain it. I mean, I feel more centered now than I ever have in my life. I just do. So, yeah, well, I'm going to put this below so that, you can refer back to it. And I'm going to subscribe to her blog. I don't subscribe to anybody's blog, but I really like what she has to say. And her name is Elizabeth Peru. So, okay, well, just wanted to share that with you. Radical Gardener, Kate Hart, from my garden to yours. It's almost time to start those seeds. I'm going to start them this weekend. Oh, yes, I am. And I'll talk about that and some more gardening stuff tomorrow. I'm lining up a lot of interviews. So there you go. Okay, so let's see. Anything else? No. Okay. My garden to yours. May your garden always grow, and I'm sending you a ton of love. All right, see you later. Bye. Oh, share my video. I want more subscribers. Okay. And thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. Okay, guys. See you later.